I know we live in a racist country. I know this. I've lived on this earth for half a century, and I know we live in a racist country. But white folks literally hate to see black joy. It's amazing how we could be minding our own fucking business, and y'all mad. Y'all mad. Nobody's being hurt. No one is dying. Everyone's laughing and joyful. But as soon as you see that, it's a problem. And I bet it's because you don't think we deserve to be happy. You don't think that we deserve to have any happiness or joy in our lives because you've been trying your best to beat us down for a long time. And we're still here. And you're wondering why we're still here. And how dare we have the audacity to be happy. I'm sitting here watching these videos and listening and reading some of the responses to the graduations where they're dancing. And I think one school, I think it was in Baton Rouge, actually got out and started doing a line dance. The whole entire stadium auditorium was doing the line dance. The shit was amazing to see. I worked in education for 12 years, and as a student services manager, one of the things I was responsible for doing was ensuring that the graduation happened. I was solely responsible for putting on the graduation for approximately 100 students or so every semester. And one of the things that they did not want us to do was that, what some of these videos are showing, which broke my heart, even though now and again, families would applaud louder than they should. But it's just joy. It's happiness. And I worked for a nursing college, and when I tell you those students went through it, hell yeah, I would be screaming. It's like, y'all are so fucking vanilla that anytime there's any color, you get upset, you get afraid, you get anxious because you don't know where it's going. That's what it is. Y'all literally are afraid of us. You don't know what that is or how riled up we can get. So you get scared. You're very timid. And then you think it could be towards you in some respect. It's just funny to me. And then y'all have the audacity to come mess with us when we're not even doing anything to anybody away from you. But you invite yourselves in and produce a problem so that you can feel better. How's that working out for you? I love seeing each and every last one of these graduations where they're acting a plumb fucking fool, and I say keep doing it. Make them angry.
Yo, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm looking at FBA's, calling out the white folks concerning black people and how exciting and how energetic, but more especially how joyful black folks can be, and they're like joy killers. It's like they don't get excited. Rather than get excited, they get panic when they see black folks, enjoying themselves, excited, being the exuberance, regardless of whatever they're saying or what they're going out or what is going on in their lives, And that is what we're looking at in this today's video. We'll share a couple of videos in that regards, and when we come back, we'll give our own personal analysis on the subject matter. As a black person, one thing we know is how to rock stuff. We know how to be excited. We know how to be loud. We can be loud when we need to be loud. But more especially, we're also very intelligent and smart people. So if you're coming across my YouTube channel, please hit the notification button, hit the subscription button to support your dear brother. So let's dive right in.
It doesn't matter that you don't have racist tweets. It doesn't matter that you didn't vote for Trump in 2016. If you are a white person in America, you were groomed to be a racist. You were groomed to uphold the system of white supremacy. You are a racist until you actively make the decision to work against that. You will hold racist ideologies until you actively work to deconstruct that. In America, racism is the passive action. Being anti-racist is the action. From our childhood, we are taught that our whiteness is intrinsically linked with our personhood and self-worth. That is part of the reason why many white people, when they are first called out on their racism, have such a knee-jerk reaction to the word racist as opposed to the action of them being racist. Because calling them out on their racism is calling them out on their whiteness. And we have had it hammered into our head that our whiteness is one of the most important parts of our identity. Let me be clear, that's all wrong, harmful, and is being taught to us because they are grooming us to uphold the systems of white supremacy. But you are not automatically not racist, and you are certainly not anti-racist just because you don't have wildly racist tweets, just because you don't have a horrendous digital footprint. Things like Brooke's tweets are outright aggression, but your microaggressions have also always been aggressions. As white people, we are groomed to be racists, and I really don't think it's appropriate that other people are using the racist actions of Brooke Schofield to put themselves on a pedestal, to say, well, I've never been like that, so I've never been racist. I guarantee you have. You have been trained to be racist. You and your whiteness are being weaponized. And if you really feel that comfortable in stating that you were never racist, that you've never been racist, I implore you to sit down and actually introspect, because you may not have made the choice to be a racist, but the system made a choice to weaponize you and your race. And racism is the passive action. If you're not actively choosing to be anti-racist, you are being racist.
If we can depend on the right to do anything, it is to be deplorable. And on this Memorial Day, they did not disappoint. Starting with Dumpy Pants himself and that ridiculous post he made this morning, talking about literally everything but the sacrifices of our troops, right down to the KKK and neo-Nazi march and rally in Kansas City yesterday. Patriot Front held a rally yesterday. They then held a march afterwards. If you've never heard of Patriot Front, they are a white supremacist hate group, self-proclaimed ashes, and are all in on the MAGA front with 47. If you've never heard of Patriot Front, it's because they used to be Vanguard America. And Thomas Ryan Russo formed Patriot Front from Vanguard America after what happened in Charlottesville, when one of the Vanguard America people ran his truck into a crowd of people, unaliving one and injuring numerous others. This was in 2017 during the Unite the Right Charlottesville, Virginia marches, where Vanguard America was protesting the removal of General Robert E. Lee's statue. Side note, you guys would not believe how many people I have in my comments telling me the Democrats were the ones who had the slave. And then these same people protest the removal of a Democrats' Confederate statue. So you support Democrats now? I don't understand what that argument is. Like, what is the gotcha that... Anyway, I digress. Vanguard America, or rebranded Patriot Front, was actually ordered by a judge to pay each one of the victims of the Charlottesville incident $350,000 each for punitive damages and emotional distress. June of 2022, 31 Patriot Front members were arrested when somebody saw them loading up into a U-Haul truck, kind of like they did in Kansas City this weekend, and they thought that was suspicious. They called the police pulled them over, and the police found smoke grenades, shields, kind of like they had this weekend, and other items, as well as documents spelling out how to create an incident at the park. And they are really good at creating incidents because they were the ones creating incidents at the George Floyd protests. The Kansas City Police Department spokesperson said that the police department didn't even know that they were coming, and they didn't have to get any permits because no streets had to be closed. All of the marching was done on sidewalks and in public places where they could use their First Amendment right to assemble. What I found interesting also was that the Kansas City Police Department spokesperson said that there was no indication that the Kansas City Police Department escorted them in any way. But there are pictures and video evidence of police on bikes escorting them through their march. So I don't know why she felt like she had to say that when we all saw that it's a lie. They were escorted and no one was arrested. This is a hate group with shields and flagpoles that have spears at the tip of them. And the police didn't fear for their lives. They didn't instigate an issue like they did in the peaceful George Floyd protests. They decided to assemble outside of the National World War I Museum and Memorial. A spokesperson for that museum said that although they respect the First Amendment right to assemble and exercise their free speech, they stand firmly against hatred, bigotry, and divisive rhetoric in all forms. As Patriot Front marched, they would chant things like life, liberty, and victory, and reclaim America. I personally think those are very weak-ass chants that have very little thought into them. First of all, life, thanks. Liberty, for who? They don't even realize that their own liberties are being taken away right now. And victory, against who? Who are you fighting? Reclaiming America. From who? The people who built it? Anyway, now the people that marched and rallied in Kansas City were not from Kansas City. Thomas Ryan Russo is from Texas. And there are a lot of people from a lot of different places, all with face masks and large glasses to obscure their identities. But they're not from Kansas City. So why are they in Kansas City? Apparently, Kansas City is a central theater for neo-Nazis. That is a central location that is important to their cause. Kansas City also has a black mayor. And November 11th of 2022, they went to Kansas City and they handed out food and blankets to the homeless. And in these brown bags that they were handing out to these people, there were recruitment flyers for their cause. That's concerning because they're trying to recruit the people who feel as if they have been forgotten. I think this is a lesson for the Democrats in the area, the mayor of Kansas City, and of other cities around that have a high homeless rate. Y'all need to start putting more money into helping the homeless, because if you don't, you might be helping with recruitment for these hate groups. Forgotten people are easy to radicalize. People who feel as if the government is against them are easy to radicalize. And if those people have nothing to lose already, that can be dangerous for you. I really wish these cities would pay more attention to their homeless, especially because a lot of the homeless are veterans and people who have sacrificed for this country. And we tell them thank you for your service and leave them on the streets. This is a message for the black community and those who support it. We are still resting, but there is a tide shift. For one, 47 is very confused as to why we are not taking to the streets. He doesn't understand it. He just knew that using tax dollars to tear up the Black Lives Matter street, that was going to do it. Tearing down the buildings with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, he was sure that floating the rumor of pardoning Derek Chauvin would do it. His executive order to bring back segregation, all of his attacks on DEI, even though black people benefit the least from DEI, he was sure that would do it. It hasn't. And one thing that they didn't plan on at the end of the election, something that happened on November 5th, 2024, is when we all went into the voting booth and voted, and we were the only demographic that was united and held strong for democracy in this country. The 92% of black women who knew the assignment and knew what the stakes were, because we always do. The 78% of black men who held it down because they knew what would happen if they didn't. The black community knew the assignment. We became on the same wavelength. When Target did their thing, we collectively made them an example. Walmart, also losing money. Amazon, also losing money. Now, granted, allies that support the black community, the LGBT community, women, they've all been a part of that too. But black people have collectively been on the same wavelength. But in Trump's desperation to get us out into the streets, he is becoming more and more dangerous with his executive orders. On April 28th of this year, he signed an executive order. The executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Citizens. Now, we all know that Trump don't give a crap about innocent citizens, because if he did, he would care about due process. And he wouldn't try to get rid of habeas corpus, because that is how you know that a citizen is innocent or not. So what they want to do in this executive order is give cops more power and permission to profile, to brutalize people that they just think are guilty. That means us. He is trying to create another George Floyd, another situation that will get us into the streets. I say this so that we all can be cautious and we can all see and know what he is trying to do. This executive order further militarizes the police that were already militarized with tanks and riot gear that apparently they do not need when people are protesting that are of a lighter shade, but they need it for us. This also further protects law enforcement officers who are accused of misconduct or police brutality. Protects them because we know that they need to make it home to their families, but you don't need to make it home to yours. They fear for their life, even though they're the ones holding the weapon and pointing it at your back. This executive order also does something that we have already seen. This executive order threatens state and local officials who discriminate by enacting diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. If state and local officials are being inclusive, advocating for diversity and equity, they can be charged with discrimination charges. Now, Trump's DOJ's Civil Rights Department, who have defended the civil rights of people for 70 years now, they are no longer defending the rights of black and brown people, LGBT people, women, all of those people who are usually discriminated against. They are no longer going to be representing them. So if you have an issue of discrimination, the DOJ will no longer represent you because of discrimination. Make it make sense. They will now be focusing their attention on discrimination against white Christian people, because they are the most discriminated group by far. Yeah. Now, I say all this to say there's a tide shifting. Even though black people are resting, we are focusing in on our communities, our black-owned businesses, our children, our education, all of that. Yes, we need to continue doing all of that. I have seen a shift in the boldness of these racist people. Neo-Yahtzee rallies and marches up there in Kansas City. YT women calling little autistic black children the N-word, getting $750,000 for that. But then there have been videos of black people letting those racist people know who think we are going back to the 1930s, during the times that we were hanging in trees, that they were having picnics with us as the main course. Times where they could tell us which swimming pools to swim at, which water fountains to go to, where to sit on the bus. Alabama today is trying to resegregate its schools. Problem is, black people like me were born into freedom. It's going to be real hard to put that genie back in the box. So even though black people are resting, we're not going back to 1930. We are a different breed. But I say, be cautious, because 47 has already started putting things in place specifically for us, because he wants us to protest. And when we protest, he will enact martial law. And he already has the orders in place to do that. We need to know the enemy that we are fighting. So what do? Stay out of the street. Do not protest, no matter what happens. What we will do is we will continue to organize and protest with our wallets, cheer on our allies who are out in the street, strengthen the black community, and to be there for each other. We will continue to support black-owned business with our wallets and our presence. We will continue to be united as we were on the 5th of November 2024 when we tried to save this country. We will continue to do what we do best, thrive in our excellence, even during the hardest times. Love y'all. I don't usually say this, but share this video to somebody that you think needs to hear it.
So what black people are saying is that this issue about racism and black joy killing is a systematic thing that is inculcated and wired into the average white folks to respond to black people in such manner and such attitude. And what they're saying is, we don't want to get into your business, we just want to mind our business, but you guys should stop meddling with our affairs. And the sad part of the whole story and the analysis that is that not only are these guys joy killers, they're using the state power, the government institutions to perpetuate these evils on various levels, and they are getting away with it. Where you create a system where people are not defined by who they are, but by the color of their skin, which was something that late Martin Luther King fought. I want to be in an America where I'm not defined by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. And on the streets, that is a different reality, that is a different fact, as many people are profiled in such ways and lives have been lost just because people just can't stand to see people of color, people who are melanated, people that are FBAs, enjoying their joy and peace of mind and clarity. So I want to know what your thoughts are in the comment section. All credit to the original content creators. If you're coming across my YouTube channel, please do subscribe. Encourage your dear brother by hitting that subscription button and notification button. So I want to know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comment section.